Hey there YouTube, welcome back to another black powder update, the one that I promised in my last video. Finally got these guys done. I actually finished them yesterday. Took me an extra day or two just because of all the chaos of Christmas and stuff. I was actually away for a couple of days over Christmas, and obviously when I came back it took a day to sort of readjust myself. I did actually do a little bit of painting the day after, but then at the sort of 3 days after that I really sort of knuckled down, and it just took me a couple of days right at the very end where I was dawdling a little bit. It was kind of I did a bit of a late night session, and it was getting too late, and I thought, well, I got to the point where they're all ready to sort of be finished off basing, and I thought, well, I'll just stick them to the bases and then I'll finish them the next day, and that's basically what ended up happening. So they took like an extra day to paint and an extra day just overnight to actually finish these guys off, and then of course another 2 days of me ballsing the videos up. This is now my 4th attempt because the last one was actually going really well, but then the battery decided to run out, and I thought, well, I might as well just restart again. Let's get going. So first of all, I just want to wish everyone a Happy New Year. Let's hope it's better than the last couple of years. This next one, and again, a big thank you to all my subscribers who've supported my channel. It's always humbling to think that there's that many people that enjoy watching your videos. And hopefully I'm definitely on track to try and meet my sort of race to 500, and who knows, maybe at some point I'll actually manage to surpass my my friend who has his Blu-ray channel, because that will be a sweet day when that happens. So let's get on. Try not to make this video too long. Here we have the next battalion. Now these chaps are the first unit of the 10th Division. Obviously I already have the 1st Battalion done because of my original 3rd Corps project. So I basically did the same sort of thing, even though these guys did have a few base problems. I basically decided that even though they're based on warlord bases, and I'm not a massive fan of those, the actual amount of work to just change the very few figures that are in wrong positions around was actually not warranting the amount of time it would take to rebase them. So in the end I just, because 2 of the figures of the 3 were metal, I just basically snapped those off the base easy. The plastic guy was a little bit more difficult, but a lot easier than snapping everyone off their bases, because you'd have to sort of basically Dremel them off. And in the end I just did the usual. I tidied them up, made them look more presentable, and also reflocked the bases. So that was quite an easy job. That was literally a sort of a couple of hours work to get those guys ready. So here we have the 2nd Battalion of the 34th Regiment de Ligne, and these chaps are made up of, they're all Perrys, and they're made up of the remnants of the 1814 and 1815 box sets, namely the ones without greatcoats, and utilising a Perry's Battalion Command Pack for 3 of the figures, and one of the officers, the junior officer here, I believe he is from the officer pack. Now I could possibly be getting mixed up with this chap, but definitely one of these is from the officer pack, one of these is from the battalion command. And with that, let's get on and give you the blurb. Now I did actually get the command base and the sergeant's base around the wrong way, even though I swear that I laid them out correct. So all the blurb is actually on the bottom of the sergeant's base, so I'll give you the blurb. So these are the 2nd Battalion of the 34th. They are commanded by a chef de battalion, Jean-Francois Vectan, or Vecten, and they are the 1st Brigade of the 10th Infantry Division, and of course 3rd Corps. So let's get going with the Grenadiers. Now it's actually a little bit brighter than it has been, so the light's a little bit better, but it's still not perfect, so let's try and just get a little bit more light on these chaps. So here we have the Grenadier stand, and you can see that it's made up of actually all 1814 Perrys, and I actually utilised the sapper this time, and I think it's actually a really cool figure. So there we have the Grenadiers with the sapper. Then we have the 4th Company, and these guys are a mixture of 2 and 2, so 2 guys from the 1815 and 2 guys from the 1814 boxes. They go together really well, as you can see. I mean, really the only noticeable difference between the 2 uniforms is that the 1814s had the longer tails, where the 1815s shortened them. But yeah, pretty turned out okay. That's the 4th Company, and the Voltigeur. Again, pretty standard fare. It looks like we've got 2 and 2 again. I think I actually chose for this particular stand all guys with covered shakos, apart from the one here. But that's those chaps, the Voltigeur. Then we'll go for the musician stand. So here we have a one of the differences between the last infantry division and the 10th, that this particular regiment has a green coloured drummer's vest with a green and red rather than the blue and red of the last division. Now I'm not sure if all the drummers have got green, but I've got a suspicion they probably do. And of course, without greatcoats you've got to do the details, so it was a little bit fiddly, but I tried to put as much detail into him as possible. And it looks like he's accompanied by an 1815 and 2 1814s, and of course the drummer's metal from the Battalion command pack. Then we have the Nco stand. Now I'd actually run out of great-coated, or rather non-great-coated sergeants, so I made one up using a body from the 1814 box set, and decided to give him the alternate position to make him stand out. And it kind of looks like he's getting ready, you know, trying to pep the guys up, ready to start charging, or getting them to move at a more aggressive pace. And it looks like they're joined by 3 of the 1815 Perrys, or he is. So that is the Nco stand. And finally the command stand. So this is obviously the high-ranking sergeant that came with the, or rather the long service sergeant that came with the battalion command pack from Perry's. He's got a little bit of a relaxed flag position there, which, I mean, obviously I prefer the flags to be kind of held up a little bit better, but you know, perhaps these guys have got a little bit of a walk before they start getting into range of whoever they're charging or marching towards. We have the Shifter Battalion there, junior officer behind him, and another made up NCO using a similar sort of style to the one on the NCO stand there. And yeah, I think they came out pretty cool actually. And of course the flag I made a little bit less wavy because he's kind of it's at a different position. and I'm sure the junior officer there is getting annoyed by getting flapped by it. But yeah, really nice. Turned out really nice command stand in the end. And of course, the classic flags of war fanion with the custom writing for the 34th, and of course a proper late or 100 Days campaign fanion, which is the one with a 3-pointed spearhead. And yeah, pretty chuffed with how they turned out. Actually, it's one of those units where, when you sort of look at the them sort of unassembled and matched up, you think you know, these guys aren't particularly amazing looking, but as they sort of come together, they turn into a pretty decent unit. So that is the end. That is the 2nd Battalion of the 34th. They've got one more battalion themselves, so they've got 2 extra battalions, and I think the 2nd Infantry Regiment for these chaps also has two battalions too, and I think the 2nd Brigade also has 2 regiments of 2. So it's going to be a big one, this one. And the 8th Division overview is just basically waiting on the officer here. I'll probably try and finish him over the next couple of days. He's got most of his base colours on, actually. It's just the horse to do and finishing the figure off. This is one of those rare occasions where I stuck the figure to the horse before painting it. Normally I don't do that, but he was having some fit issues, so I had to put him on with some filler so that to fill out the sort of big gaps. So it was kind of no choice but to stick him to his horse. But I've got to say, there's no real particular problem painting these guys. I've painted a few stuck to their base now, stuck to the horse I mean, so it shouldn't take too long to do. And then that video will follow. So that's the end. So once again, Happy New Year to everyone, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Until then, bye bye.